PE teacher talks a lot about the heart. So what all do y'all know about the heart? What are some things that she's taught you? Yeah?
Oh, she forgot.
Y'all can just talk out.
She says running is like good for your heart rate and everything and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to run.
That's
Being
okay.
energetic helps your heart flow better.
Yeah. What else?
Being in motion makes the blood come to your heart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So y'all seem to know a lot about the heart, right?
A little
A
bit.
little bit? Okay, does anybody think that they can draw a heart? Does anybody know what it looks like?
It's
No.
not like
I know
that.
it's
It's
not
not
like
like
that.
Not like that.
Okay. Do you want to come up here and draw it? Do you want to come up here and draw it?
I know what it
I need
looks
some more
like.
people too.
I know what it looks
You want to try?
My mom has
Yeah. Okay, y'all four. Okay. So this is a real human heart.
Ay, ay, ay.
That's what it really looks like. But this is what y'all were drawing. So y'all did really good. So there are 4 little like rooms in the heart. And so these are called atria, and then these are called ventricles. But they're really just little sections in the heart. So your blood is going to come in right here, and it goes into the right atria, and then it's going to go through this little valve, and it's going to be in here, and then it goes out to the body, and then it goes to the lungs to get oxygen. Why do we need oxygen in our blood?
To breathe.
Go
Yeah, we just need it because it brings nutrients. The blood brings hormones and nutrients and everything into the blood. What were you going to say?
Without oxygen, our blood isn't red.
Yeah, that's why this is kind of blue on here. It's not really blue in the body, but it is not red like you were saying, so that's good. So then it's going to come in and it has oxygen, and it comes in to the left atria, the left ventricle, and then it goes out throughout the whole body, and it's going to get the oxygenated blood, the nutrient-rich blood throughout the whole entire body. And then we can show this video. There you go. And you can stop the video. So like they were saying in the video, the heart is actually a muscle. It's a strong muscle, and it works as the body's pump to get the blood all throughout the body. So like I was saying a second ago, it's kind of like 2 pumps. It'll pump once to get the blood to the lungs, and then it'll pump again to get it out to the rest of the body the second time. So the blood vessels are there to provide the path. So it carries the blood to and from every cell in the body. So that's what your blood vessels are for, and you can see them, and like they were saying, they can feel them. So that's really what they're there for. Blood's not just all in your body all over the place, but it's just being carried in these little vessels like it would be like on a track. So the body tissues need the oxygen, vitamins, hormones, heat, and immune cells that the blood carries. So again, like we were saying a second ago, the body tissues need a lot of things from the blood. The heat is something that you don't often think about, but your blood is hot, and so like during exercise, it routes the blood to different places because of the heat in it. The immune cells so that you don't get sick, and the vitamins and hormones. And this is just the track again that it goes. So the body, it goes into the right atrium, the right ventricle, and there are these little valves that you see. And then it goes to the lungs, the left atrium, the left ventricle, and then it goes out to the body. And y'all did really well with knowing these little arteries and veins, and that's what carries all of the blood to the body. Okay, next one. So, you can feel your heart contracting or beating by feeling your pulse. So whenever you feel it, that's actually what you're feeling is the muscle of the heart just pumping out the blood. So when you listen to your heartbeat through a stethoscope, whenever you go to the doctor, you're hearing the valves close and push the blood out of the chamber. So y'all saw in the video how it pumps and the valves kind of open. So you're hearing the valves close whenever you hear like the boom, boom. And so that's what it is them like closing because it's so much pressure and then it has to close and like hold it against the blood. And blood pressure, it measures how full your blood vessels are. So how much stress or how much strain you're putting on your blood vessels or on your arteries. It's impacted by what you eat and how much you exercise. So I want everybody to find a friend beside you and find their pulse. And we're gonna use this right here on your wrist. It's gonna be towards your thumb, and never use your thumb to take a pulse because you're gonna end up feeling your own pulse. So use your 2 fingers like this.
It's on the neck.
Yeah, it is on your neck. Do like on the thumb side. And you can
Here, Austin.
She said don't touch it.
Yeah, don't use your thumb because you're gonna end up feeling your own pulse. You can feel your own pulse in your
Let's see.
You have to press down pretty hard. So don't hurt your partner, but
Oh yeah, I'm not
good.
Oh yeah, I feel it now.
Does it feel weird?
Yeah.
Here, do it.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gross.
Yeah, you can stop it. Okay, so we can go to the next slide.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so exercise. Y'all said that y'all have already learned a lot about this in PE, but so exercise requires more oxygen to the working muscles because they use the oxygen to generate their energy, which ATP is what the human body mostly uses for energy. Exercise also produces extra carbon dioxide that we need to get rid of. So to do that, in addition to breathing faster and taking in more oxygen and releasing more carbon dioxide, our heart's going to beat faster and harder. So the heartbeat that you hear and the pulse that you feel is going to be a lot faster, but then also it's going to pump out more blood every time it beats. So the blood vessels can actually get bigger and smaller. So that's really cool about the blood vessels because wherever the blood needs to go, it can make it bigger in those spots so that all the blood will flow into that area. And then the places that it doesn't really need much blood right then, they can shrink up. And so you're not wasting a lot of blood on areas in your body that you don't really need. So how does it know where it should go? The body has checkpoints. So the nervous system, does everybody know what the nervous system is?
Yes.
It's the brain and your spinal cord and your nerves. And your hormones, and inside of the blood vessels, it'll actually have these little places, like these little checkpoints along your blood vessels that will check the pressure, and it'll send it like where it needs to go. So whenever you're exercising, what would need the most blood to go to it?
Heart. Brain. Beat.
Whatever you're exercising.
Lungs.
You need it to your lungs, and also to your skeletal muscles, which is all the muscles that you use to move. So like your big thigh muscles, your arm muscles, your ab muscles, whatever you're working out, you need to get more blood to the working muscles, and then less to maybe like your stomach and to your intestines and different systems where you're not really using it during exercise. It can save that blood. So we can go to the next slide. So there's 2 different types of exercise. And I don't know if y'all know them. I have them up on the screen, obviously. But aerobic exercise is more of like the endurance exercise. So it's walking, running, swimming, dancing, biking, anything like that. And then anaerobic.
I'm sorry, what does Coach McCain have y'all do for aerobic exercises?
Running.
Y'all run around
We run, walk, and dance.
All right, so let's look at the next kind.
Okay, and then anaerobic exercise is more of sprinting, jumping, lifting weights, anything where you need a lot of power, and it's more like quick movements instead of like a long endurance run. You need like quick. So, so the heart gets used to pumping more blood, and it gets used to pumping more blood, and so like this is just as your heart gets used to you exercising a lot. So if you just go and run one time, it's not really going to get used to it. But if you do this a lot, like in PE, and if you do it outside of PE, then your heart will get better and more efficient at pumping its blood. Your heart rate will actually slow down. It's not going to be as many times because it gets more efficient at it. It gets better at pumping, so it doesn't have to keep pumping so many times. There's less stress on the blood vessels. So that means that your blood pressure is going down. They're bigger and they're not blocked, and so your blood has plenty of room to go through and get to the areas that it's needing to go to. And then whenever you do anaerobic training, like the push-ups and like the sprints or jumping or lifting weights, your heart's gonna actually bulk up like any muscle would, because it is a muscle. So like your arms get bigger, it's called hypertrophy. That's what it is, like whenever your muscles get big from working out a lot, your heart does the same thing whenever you lift a lot of weights or whenever you do a lot of anaerobic exercises. So you need about an hour per day of exercise. So y'all are probably pretty good from PE, but you just need to be sure that you're doing it over the summer, over Thanksgiving break, so that your heart can get used to it. And you can go to the next slide. Nutrition. You may be eating plenty of food, but is your body getting all the nutrients that it needs? So you need to eat a colorful plate, like my little rainbow food over there. Drink more water and less fizzy or sugary drinks. Fast food and fatty foods will increase your blood pressure. They'll actually like block part of your blood vessels that we were seeing a second ago. And so the blood isn't able to use the tracks that it needs to get to all of your muscles, to get to your heart, to get to your brain, to get everywhere. And your sugary foods and fast foods and fat foods, that all aids in that. So what is fatty foods? It's like the packaged snacks that are really processed, anything with a lot of butter or salt in it, bacon, your Starbucks drinks, Pop-Tarts, all of those things are really bad for, candy. Yeah, candy. They're so bad for your blood vessels, and it makes your heart not be as efficient at getting blood everywhere that it needs to go. So try to eat more fruits, veggies, fish, and fiber. So even things like red meat are not that great for your heart to eat a lot. You obviously need them sometimes, but it's best to eat fish instead of the other red meats a lot, and then you need plenty of fruits and veggies and whole grains and raisins and yogurt. What?
What if one of the blood veins pop?
Well, that's like whenever you get a bruise. It pops and the blood gets everywhere.
That's what a bruise is? Yeah. So many blood veins pop.
Okay, can we go to the next one?
I might only have one left.
Alright. Yeah, it will. Whenever you get a bruise, it's usually just like a small one. Like these aren't very big, so it's not that big of a deal. If it bursts closer to your heart, then it would be a big deal. So does it really affect my heart? Things like energy drinks, they mess with the heart rhythm. Like they were listening to the stethoscope, and whenever you feel your pulse, your heart will kind of beat kind of crazy because the caffeine messes with it. So even just like one energy drink a day or one a week is really bad for your heart and for your blood vessels. And it increases your blood pressure. Like we were saying, it puts so much stress on your blood vessels that it's not able to get there very efficiently. Smoking or even secondhand smoke, if you're inhaling a lot of smoke. How does clogging affect the blood pressure? That's what we've been talking about, but here's a picture. So here's a normal artery, which is one of the main types of a blood vessel. So it's really wide, and you see all these little blood cells going through it. And it can go through it pretty well. They cut the top off of it, but normally you wouldn't be able to see it like that. So all of these are just different stages of blockage. So all of this yellow stuff is fatty blockage in your blood vessels. So yeah, so all of this that you're seeing, all of the blood vessels, a lot of them can be clogged with bad nutrition or not working out enough. So that's why it's really important that you keep your arteries nice and clean, and you're eating good veggies and fruits and less of the sugary and fatty foods. So stress, watching Netflix and stress can both affect your heart because...
How can Netflix affect your heart?
Okay, so there's a study that said that even if you get in all of your exercise in the day, like even an hour a day, it's still really bad for your heart if you sit down for long periods of time. So not necessarily Netflix, but if you're just sitting down in the evenings to watch TV, you need to be sure and like get up and get your heart rate going and do some jumping jacks or something real fast.
That's why school is